everybody, welcome to the Comic Gamer Movie Show. My name is Deshaun, and today I'm here to review Amazon Prime's Fallout. Yes, Amazon Prime's Fallout, based off of the iconic Bethesda video game of the same name, Fallout. Now, the Fallout series has been around for a very long time. It's been around longer than even I know. It used to be a computer game, going way back in the day, before Fallout 3, New Vegas, and Fallout 4, and Fallout 76, all that shit. It used to be a computer game, and it was a very successful open-world, post-apocalyptic RPG that eventually got turned into one of the most iconic RPGs. I'd probably say the Fallout series by Bethesda is one of the most recognizable IP of the last 30 years. Like, honestly, the Vault Boy, the Pit Boy, the Vault Boy, the Pit Boy, the Vault logo themselves, the classic 60s, or mid-50s motif, the nuclear warhead, just everything about that game, the technology, like everything about the Fallout series is it's very well known at this point. Every game that deals with nuclear warhead or nuclear bombs of a sort are taking something from the Fallout series, or at the very least, visually taking something from Metro and things of that nature, which is another great video game series. It all kind of comes back to Fallout. Fallout is one of the most iconic open world games of all time, particularly Fallout New Vegas, which set a standard for that kind of a genre. So when you hear that Amazon's going to make a show about this, now video games have been on the rise. Video game and shows and movies have been on the rise. Hollywood has finally figured this shit out. Between The Last of Us being great, the first season, Last of Us being great, The Witcher doing more good than bad. You got Super Mario Brothers making over $1 billion and being a wildly entertaining film. You got Sonic being a great movie and Sonic 2 being a fun, entertaining film that makes money too. You got Castlevania crushing it in animation form. And obviously you got The Last of Us being some of the best shit on HBO, living up to the hype of the video game, which the levels were already high. And now you have Fallout by Amazon, and I am happy to say I was worried about this because I thought the outfits, the costumes, and everything, I thought everything looked too, what's the word I'm looking for? Cosplay. I thought things looked too crisp. I was like, you gotta dirty this up. You gotta make this look like something someone would actually wear. And I am happy to report that outside of the power armor, because the power armor does look a little weird sometimes. It does look a little plasticky. It does look a little like, okay. But I kind of let that go as the show went on because they was doing so many other things so well. I am happy to say Fallout, Amazon's Fallout show, is everything you would want in a show based on the Fallout IP. From the atmosphere, to the designs, to the Easter eggs, to them actually adding to the mythos. And this is something that surprised me about the show. Now, usually when you hear they're going to make a video game adaptation, whenever they make an adaptation of anything, usually a show or a movie, usually what they mean is we're gonna just like reimagine it. We're gonna tell it as if this is the first time you're ever seeing it. And in my mind, I'm thinking, when I first heard they were making a Fallout show, I was like, okay, so they're probably gonna just pick one of the games and just recreate it. No, they went the extra mile. Now, I don't want to spoil anything because the show did just come out last Friday, I think, last Thursday, I can't remember. It did come out last week, so I don't want to spoil anything for the Fallout fans here, but this show serves almost as Fallout 5. No bullshit. There is no contradict. This show takes place, minor spoilers, after the events of Fallout 4. Like maybe 10, 12 years after those events. And it never truly contradicts the canon endings to any of the Fallout games. And in fact, it pushes it forward. So honestly, if you really go, like, if I were a Fallout fan, if you are a fan of Fallout, I would go into this show thinking you are watching a sequel. Now we don't know that for sure. We won't really know that until Fallout 5 actually comes out, and if they reference any of the events in the show, because by the time Fallout 5 comes out, there might be 2 more seasons of this show. So we won't really know until Fallout 5 comes out, and if they reference the events of the show, then this show would actually be a canon part of the Fallout mythos. Because like I said, I'm watching this with my friend Seth. I was watching it with Seth. Seth knows so much about Fallout, so much about its mythos, so much about its backstories. And while we're watching it, it's never contradicted. So often, when, like I said, they make an adaptation of a video game, of a book or something, they're giving their version, they're giving their spin. They didn't do that in this show. The creators and the writers, they took all the material that Fallout came with. They took the materials, they took the backstories, they took the histories in the video games, and they said, okay, we're going to tell a new story about new characters that happen to take place in this world, but we're going to tell a new story built off the back, almost built on top of, but separately from the events of the past. And it's so fascinating because you can watch this show as a simple, which is how you do an adaptation, by the way. So often, I always refer to Warcraft as going too far. So a couple years back, maybe five years back, they made Warcraft, and everyone was kind of excited about this. You know, World of Warcraft's a massive video game, so then it has a huge mythos of its own. So they're making a movie about it. Awesome. And honestly, I didn't hate the movie, but they went so thick into the mythos and stuff that you wouldn't really understand what the fuck's going on. Like, characters show up and like they expect you to just know. Like, there are things you would not understand about the movie unless you were a fan. They do an amazing job at engrossing you in this world to the point and explaining things. Explaining things that if you don't know anything about the Fallout world, you just think, oh man, this is an awesome world. And then this is an awesome world. And then someone can tell you, hey, the video game, you should go play the video game. And that's another thing this did. The Witcher show, I have my complaints about that show, many. But one of the things that Witcher show did is by the time I finished watching it, I felt like playing The Witcher again. And by the time I finished playing this Fallout game, watching Fallout, I was like, dude, I feel like going to play Fallout. They capture everything and even add more. They even dive into things that haven't been explored in the video games. Mostly pre-bombs dropping. And they really, and like you get into it through the eyes of this character named Howard Cooper, who is Harold Cooper, or is it Howard Cooper? They just call him Coop anyways. He's this big-time movie star in pre-world, and he becomes the spokesperson for Vault Tech. He becomes the inspiration for the Pit Boy. Like, they go into so many details. Now the story itself is taken from a lot of Fallout from all over. But you mainly follow 3 main characters. Pretty much there's 3 main lead characters. And it's fun, and it's a fun way they did here. Because with a Fallout game is so well known for being able to choose and being able to you could do such various different things with your main character. It's an open world, it's an RPG, it's not quite create your own story, but you can choose your own paths. So how do you get that across in a show? Is by having multiple lead characters. And having multiple lead characters gets you to show multiple perspectives, multiple directions of how you could have chose your character to walk down. And that was a very clever way that the writers got around showing off the multiple perspectives of being a wastelander. Now you have the one main character named Lucy, who's in a vault. I believe she's in Vault 33, and she's just like your vault character from Fallout 3. Just this, they grew up in this vault their whole life. She doesn't know what's going on. And one day her father, raiders get into the vault. They murder a bunch of people. They kidnap her father. and she's gonna venture out, this doe-eyed, you know, she's skilled, but she's just innocent. She's grew up in this very self-contained environment. So she, like I said, she is a very innocent girl. So it's just kind of one of those it is what it is situations. And she wants to go save her father. She wants to go out into the wasteland, and she's naive, and her story is about being in the real world. And really in the background of this entire show is something that I noticed is dream versus reality, is what you want versus what is. Like, it's not enough to want good intentions. It's not enough to do the right thing. You have to have the power to do the right thing. And that's something that Lucy has to learn. Then you follow this other character who's a part of the Brotherhood called Maximus. And us Fallout people know the Brotherhood of Steel. They're kind of this zealot military organization that covets pre-war technology, kind of hates all mutants, and you know, they just kind of go around and bully their way and take whatever they and take the technology they want, and they'll shoot your ass if you don't go with them. But you know, like, so the Brotherhood of Steel is like this really militant, military-esque, like I say, kind of zealot organization. And the main protagonist, you know, in Maximus, who's another lead, you know, he really he has these dreams of what it would be to be the Brotherhood and be a knight and get the armor and all these optimistic and noble intentions. But then once again, the reality of the world slaps him in the face and brings out an ugliness in him that he doesn't like, but it brought it out in him. Like, he lives in this world, he knows what it is, and it sucks. It's one of those, and I love that about the show. It's constantly a show, just like the video games, about this, because the Fallout series is that, from the smiling vault boy to all of that, is this darkness behind the fake facade, and the idea that the bombs really only allow people to be as ugly as they had always been on the inside. And then you follow Cooper the Ghoul. Now Cooper, the bombs dropped. He was around when the bombs dropped. There's so much going on with him that's so fascinating. But all you need to know is he was a fake cowboy when when Hollywood and stuff was around. He's a real badass cowboy now because Cooper lost everything. You know, he lost everything. He became a ghoul. He's lived in the wasteland for, you know, almost 200 years. So like, Cooper is like, they kind of make Cooper how your character is by the end of his journey, because your character usually by the end of a Fallout game is, you know, you done been all over the place, you done killed so many people, you done did so much shit. Like, you really have because just like him, he has a skewed perspective on the wasteland and on people in general. He's a badass, capable motherfucker, but he's not really living for anything anymore, except just to move on, except just to walk, you know, just to keep moving forward for the sake of it. And like I say, he's an interesting reflection of a version of your Fallout character. So they're all interesting perspectives of a version of your Fallout character. And like I said, this show did it well. This is what an adaptation is all about. This is what you should do. And like I said, they even did better, because this isn't even an adaptation. This may actually end up being a sequel to the Fallout mythos. This might be some shit that even if you don't have Amazon, even if you don't want to, even if you just play Fallout, I would advise you to watch the show, because it legit might be Fallout 5. But anyways, I would give Amazon's Fallout a 10 out of 10. I love the fucking show. I couldn't get enough of it. It was amazing. It was everything I wanted. Like, if I was gonna, like, oh man, how are you gonna do this? This is exactly how it's done. Thank you guys for watching the Comic Game Movie Show. Please leave a like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Goodbye.